Welcome back, everybody, to a brand new post-commentary feature match. We've got Salamangreat versus E-Heroes. E-Heroes, I don't believe have ever been on the channel before, so I think you guys are in for a bit of a treat, at least I hope. But anyways, I want to mention a quick shout-out to Imperium Duelist before this game gets going. If you guys are interested in picking up any two-player cloth playmats, amazing sleeves, dice, calculator cases, anything, TCG accessories, things like that, check them out down in the description below and use that discount code at checkout, WinterKills10 off, to save 10% off your entire order. Helps you guys save a little money, helps support me in the process. So if you want to do that, feel free to. But Salamangreat winning the dice roll and opting to go second, or going first, I believe, as is typical for most Salamangreat players to want to go first. Haven't seen any going second Salamangreat builds yet, thankfully. But yeah, so just not opening up the greatest hand, just trying to get the Sunlight Wolf as quickly as possible, putting a Balinx in grave, and one set back row. So had to use that Sanctuary, relink effect very early on the Balinx. Ideally, you'd be using that on, Sunlight Wolf, but not having the additional resources to do that. So he's going to pass it over to the hero player, and he's going to start with the Vision Hero Vion, which will attempt to activate its effect here to, I believe, special summon, but it's going to be met with an Ash. Ash will say no to that, but he's got Foolish Burial now. Can't stop everything, unfortunately, so Foolish Burial. Probably going to send Destiny Hero Malicious to the graveyard now to try to get access to Cross Guy, or Cross Crusader, to start getting some shenanigans going there. So he's going to use a Malicious Engrave now, of course, to special summon another copy of itself. Of course, being wary of that zone that Sunlight Wolf is basically turning off for the time being. So there's Cross Crusader, going to target the Malicious in the graveyard to summon it out, and be able to tribute it off to special summon, I believe, a Destiny Hero from deck, or something along the lines of that. I'm not too familiar with the hero archetype. I did play it on my stream, actually, for a little bit, because I was thinking about getting the deck, but never actually fully committed. But there it is, the Infinite Impermanence now coming out on the Cross Guy. Cross Crusader, whatever its name is. I'm always used to calling it by its YGO Pro name, but I can't remember what its actual TCG name is. I'm pretty sure it's Cross Crusader. But yeah, so the Impermanence will essentially shut down the Cross Guy thanks to the Impermanence. So he's still going to be able to use that Malicious Engrave, though. But now it looks like he has a Mass Change in hand, so he does have plenty of options. There's Polymerization, actually. OG. Fusion spell. Going for what looks to be Trinity right now, which is at 5,000 attack and can make up to 3 attacks each turn. But it's important to note that it cannot attack directly. Otherwise, this would spell game right here, right now. But luckily for him, he's not going to be able to attack directly. So he'll take 32 over top of the Sunlight Wolf, and then I believe 16 direct from the Cross Crusader. And we saw that Mass Change in hand. It looks like he's going to go ahead and use that now to tribute off the Cross Crusader to go into none other than the Dark Law himself. Bit of a hesitation there, but going for Dark Law nonetheless. Swinging for an additional 24. And not looking too good. So Dark Law is going to not only swing in for some extra damage, but going to basically make it very hard for the Salamangreat player to come back at this point. Anything going to the graveyard, going to be banished instead. And if he tries to add anything from deck to his hand, he's going to get to pick a random card out of his hand and banish it. So yeah, not looking too good. He does have Jaguar engraved, so I mean, not really any plays that could be done. Gonna set a monster and hope it's enough and pass. So he's gonna attack and do it with Trinity. He can save it with Balinx, sure, but Trinity can attack multiple times, and it's not gonna matter there. With only having 800 life points left, a very unfortunate quick end for Salamangreats as we head into game 2. And I also want to mention, if you guys are picking up anything on TCG Player, don't be afraid to use my affiliate link down in the description below. If you use that link and shop on TCG Player like normal and check out using that link, I will receive a small portion of the revenue from your purchase. So if you want to help support me and the channel just by using TCG Player, feel free to use that link down in the description below. So going in now for the Balinx, of course, off Spinny, grabbing the field spell. Not using Foxy's effect so he can bring it out to be able to attempt to go to Mirage Stalia, but he's going to throw a rock right at his face. And the Rock's going to tell him no. No effects being, no other plays really being made here, unless he has something like Will in hand to sort of have a follow-up, which it looks like he does not. And the Rock token only having, I believe, 2,500 attack and like something like 1,500 defense. I'm not sure how many defense points Mirage Stalio has, but won't make too big of a difference here since the Rock will most certainly be able to get over it. Shadow Mist getting summoned and then pitching a Dusted Gold to the graveyard. $70 card, by the way. $70. Some of these hero cards are still so darn expensive. I quite don't understand it. But yeah, either way, adding Dark Calling from his deck to his hand, which is the fusion spell, that'll basically allow him to go into Malicious Bane. Again, another $70 card. So Shadow Mist running it over, so not much defense in that token there. And then going for the Nibiru 3k attack. Direct, that'll go through. He's going to try to follow it up with Mass Change, but Imperial Order is going to say otherwise. Turning off the Dark Calling in his hand as well, forcing the hero player to just pass at this point. Not feeling as though he could do anything else. He'll take the 700 from the Imperial Order. I always have a hard time saying that card's name for some reason. I don't know what is wrong with me, but either way, taking 700. He'll continue to take 700 every turn, which could be pretty problematic, putting him on a bit of a clock. Luckily, he still has the materials needed, though, to be able to go into another copy of Mirage Stalio. That's why a second copy is proven to be pivotal as of late. I always thought 2 copies of Mirage Stalio was very good because Called by the Grave is a card that exists, and if your Mirage Stalio ends up getting called by at some point while it's in the graveyard, you're just out of luck. You lose a very powerful play in terms of your rank 3 access that this deck has, you know, Gazelle, Spinny, Foxy, things like that. You're just losing a very important part of your engine that you'd rather not lose otherwise. So summoning out the Gazelle off of the Mirage Stalio, and then the Gazelle, of course, will prompt to dump any Salamangreat card from the deck to the graveyard, of course. Looking at Jack Jaguar here, could be a contender, but also wanting to perhaps ponder the option of sending something like Rage Aurora to the graveyard if he can get it set up, which I don't think he would be able to unless he gets that Jaguar in grave already or has some other extender to be able to trigger that effect. But he's going to go into battle phase and swing over the 1,000 attack Shadow Mist. So take 1,000 damage. And then move into main phase 2. Feeling as though that's the most damage he'll be able to get done this turn. Doesn't sound too good, at least at that point, if you can only deal 1,000. But 1,000 is 1,000. Then going to link into Sunlight Wolf, opting not to use the effect of Mirage Stalio here to bounce a card. And Jack Jaguar will return the Mirage Stalio to the extra deck, as you might have expected. And then Sunlight Wolf going to add back that copy of Gazelle to the hand. No targets engraved, though, at the moment, unfortunately, to be able to add back. No Salamangreat spells or traps to be able to add back. So he's going to have to pass it back to the hero player. Taking another 700 here in the standby phase. Ticking him down to 3,600. And there is that Vision Hero Faris. Going to summon itself by discarding Malicious. Pretty good start to the turn. And then be able to equip one to it from the deck. And that's going to be... I forget its name. But going to now have DD Crow to be able to banish the Malicious. So losing a pretty solid extender there. It is the Vision Hero Increase. That is the card. So Increase will tribute Faris to go ahead and special summon it to the zone, the main monster zone. Special summon another Vision Hero from deck. Another Vision Hero from deck. And it'll be met with an Ash. So getting stopped at pretty much every avenue at this point, it would seem like. Salamangreat is probably, it looks like anyway, is starting to regain control of this match here. Having the DD Crow for Malicious, having the Ash for the Increase. Normal summoning a second Increase, though, to go into a copy of the Wonder Driver, which has 1,900 attacks. And he's going to go ahead and run over the Sunlight Wolf, opting not to protect there here to avoid more damage from that Nibiru at 3k. So he'll take the 100 over top of the Sunlight Wolf, and then when he tries to destroy the Jack Jaguar with the Nibiru, he will protect with the Balinks, taking another 700 here in the standby phase. And since he took that 100 damage, he is exactly 4 turns away from losing to his own Imperial Order, because now he is in perfect divisions of 700. So he is on a 4-turn clock right now if he cannot clear his own order. And if you're the hero player right now, you do have a lot of life points. Your opponent isn't in the best shape. You've got a big 3k attack Nibiru. You could potentially try to stall this game out here if you cannot clear this order. At this point, I really don't see a way in the main deck he can clear his own order. It's also shutting off cards like the Will and Circle and just a lot of really good cards right now that are being turned off completely because of his own order. But then again, a pretty good side deck card in this matchup because ideally it is turning off all fusion spells, which is potentially keeping him from, accessing the most important part of his strategy. So Gazelle's going to go ahead and dump that Rage to the graveyard, trying to play the defensive game with the trap cards now as he can. Still do that under Imperial Order. And looking at that Jack Jaguar to potentially recycle that Mirage Stalio back to the extra deck. Cannot use the extra link, the reincarnate link effect of Sanctuary either, since it is negated. So he will have to make another Sunlight Wolf, in quotes, the hard way. So he's going to link the Gazelle and the Sunlight Wolf into another Sunlight Wolf, so he will be able to use its effect to add back the Rage without having to rely on the field spell here, so essentially being able to play through that, no problem. And the Jack Jaguar recycling Mirage Stalio and then using Jack Jaguar, or not Jack Jaguar, but Sunlight Wolf to add back that copy of Ash Blossom. So accumulating quite a bit of defense here, but no Balinks in the graveyard, which is going to be pretty bad. I think you probably wanted to link that Gazelle off into a Balinks because you really can benefit from that protection. He's going to try to go to battle phase here, and he's going to quickly activate that Rage to go and destroy both the Nibiru and the Wonder Driver. Still in battle phase, it's going to open him up for an evenly matched. How could you have expected that? The Rage opening him up for evenly matched. Now, if he would have had a Gazelle, turned that Gazelle into a Balinks earlier on in his turn, he probably wouldn't have been forced to, activate Rage so early and risk losing his field, because if he didn't Rage there without the Balinks, he was going to lose a lot of advantage. But it does open him up to that evenly match, which is very, very unfortunate. But luckily for him, the hero player won't have much of a follow-up. He also does clear that Imperial Order in the meantime, so he is off that 3-turn, would have been a 3-turn clock at this point. So a bit of an upside to that evenly match there, and still able to keep his Sunlight Wolf. So it could be worse, I suppose. That one-set monster, though, at least he doesn't have to worry about staring down a Dark Law or something like that. It has to normal summon Ash and follow it up with a Spinny just to be able to get into Mirage Stalio here. So some sacrifices being made. And quickly going to activate both of Sunlight Wolf's effects here to add back Gazelle and Rage. And I believe I remember hearing something about him siding out the second copy of Jack Jaguar earlier on when I was recording this. So there is not a second copy of Jack Jaguar in the deck. So he will have to settle for Falco. Of course, that other Jack Jaguar is banished face down because of that clutch evenly matched that the hero player was able to use the previous turn. Probably wasn't expecting to use it. Might have been actually, though, because that Rage, fitting like a glove to destroy the only 2 monsters he had on his field. He's going to go into battle phase, and the Mirage Stalio is going to run over the set Shadow Mist, which will search him a copy of Stratos, and swing in for 18 with the Sunlight Wolf. But being able to search that Stratos is pretty clutch, because it will allow him some free searches next turn, also picking up additional card per turn here, which looks like Mass Change. Very good card to draw into at this point. Stratos is going to be summoned. He's going to chain the Mask Change to dodge the Impermanence, since Impermanence does target. Won't be able to follow it to the grave. Going to go for the Divine Wind, I believe. Elemental Hero, Masked Hero, Divine Wind. Which I believe has an effect where only one of your opponent's monsters can attack each battle phase, and if that card attacks and destroys something by battle, send it to the graveyard, you can draw an additional card. So he's going to follow up now with Dark Calling, and he adds that Honest Neos off of the Stratos. Going in for Malicious Bane, checking his graveyard on the destruction effect, and has no protection. So Malicious Bane here presumably will be able to blow up the entire field. He'll get to add back Foxy off of that Sunlight Wolf. He can go for Rage here, but it does not matter because I don't believe Malicious Bane can be destroyed by card effects. So the Rage is presumably not going to do too much, especially how low life points he is at right now. Also having the Honest Neos in hand will prove to be game. If you would have just been able to get a Balinx engrave, I feel like that prior turn in game 2 there, before he ended up making that second Sunlight Wolf with the Gazelle and Sunlight Wolf, he would have made that a Balinx. I feel like he would have been in a much better position. I don't see any reason as to why he couldn't have done that, but probably just some sort of on-the-fly heads-up play that he just did not end up seeing, as can happen anytime you're playing a live duel. It's always a bit different when you've got the bird's eye view on a game. Can often see a lot of plays that you yourself wouldn't have seen in the game itself. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this feature match of the round 2 feature match here of Heroes versus Salamangreat. Heroes taking a 2-0 win over Salamangreat. Can't say I'm really too surprised. Heroes are actually a pretty decent deck this format, and looking like they're only getting better with Liquid Man. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to leave me a like. Don't forget to join Discord, follow me on Twitch, etc., etc. Links to social medias down in the description below. Hope you guys are having a good one, and as always, when I kill signing out, we'll see you guys in the next one.